Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're talking about fall. For many people, this is the best time of year, but not for everyone. Join us as we share what's great and not so great about this season. We've got a show to entertain and inspire the pumpkin spice lovers and the ones who die a little each time they see a pumpkin. Let's get started. Listeners, it's that special time of year when the air starts to turn a little more crisp and we can finally break out that cozy sweater. And this is my favorite season, and I know it's one that many of you guys like best too. But what if you don't get excited seeing the pumpkins on display and hearing the leaves crunch beneath your feet? Is there any way to jumpstart your love for fall, or at least make it a tiny bit better? Can you fake it until you make it? We think so, and we hope that this episode will make you fall in love with fall too. Now, listeners, when I sent this to Julie and Mindy, I just kind of assumed that both Julie and Mindy loved fall. And Julie does, but Mindy had some valid concerns. So, Mindy, why don't we comfort the people that are saying, I don't even know if I want to listen to an episode about fall because I don't even like it. All right, what do you have to say to those listeners?
Okay, you're not alone, and I am here to learn. As I have a little bit of dread going into it, and I hate to say that, but I think I tried to think of how I would describe how I was feeling. I feel like a child being told it's about time to get ready for bed, and I do not want to go to bed.
That is a good way to put it.
That's how I feel. I don't want to go to bed.
Well, and it was funny because and listeners, of course, I have the dreaded fall like allergy junk here in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So, that's not a good thing of fall. But it's funny because when we were talking about it, when I think of fall, I only think of all the positive things and I forget about all the negative. And this kind of junk in my throat is one of the negatives. But Mindy, what are, see, I can't even talk. What are some of your objections? Like, just lay them out there because I thought they were funny.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know. Okay. But please let Julie go back after me and bring us back up. Okay. Because I don't feel like I'm typically negative, but this brought out all of my negative. And when you guys asked for me to kind of think about why I struggle with it, I came up with way too many reasons. So,
but they're valid.
They are valid. Okay. Just hear me. I leaned into it. All right. Okay. So first of all, it's dark. And if it just got colder, but it stayed bright, it would be so much better.
It's true.
I'm also just truly thankful that I live as far south as I do, because I don't think I could handle it getting any colder than it does. Mm-hmm. It's just cold enough. When it comes to clothes, I actually hate all the layers that I have to start thinking about. It is so easy to just throw on a tank top, leggings, and Birkenstocks for the summer.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's just so many other things I have to think about and put together. And I'm like, there's just all the layers. And so then I just started going downhill from there. My hair is more dry. My skin is more dry. The rain is too cold. There's no flowers and the bare trees are a little sad until I get used to it. There's more sickness. I don't like cold hands. And at that point, I said, I better stop. But then I was like, wait, one more thing. I dread the holidays just a little bit. So I feel like I have so much more to do in my house for people. And I don't initially look forward to that because holiday season kind of sucks the life out of me. Mm-hmm. And I told you at this point, I'm actually in a happy mood, but I started leaning into like, why don't I like it? And I just came up with that huge list. So I am sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. Those are all valid things.
Like, I love back to school season, but I feel like if life slowed down along with the season, that maybe it would feel better, but life speeds up and I'm just not ready for it.
It really does speed up from here till the end of the year.
Right. Well, I really think all those are valid. And I was wondering, I'm really not an optimistic person in general. I mean,
right. That's usually me.
But when I think about fall, I only picture myself like in September and October. I don't even really picture myself in November and December. And I only picture warm, not really even warm, just cool, crisp days, but I'm not even having to wear like a coat. I'm wearing like a heavy sweater. And I love the fact that it's not humid because my hair actually works better when there's less humidity. And so I can actually do my hair and not just have it be a sweaty mess by the first time I go outside. I love all the layers. And so that kind of like, I'm just picturing it totally different. I completely forget that actually as soon as it turns a little bit colder, I have to start putting hand cream in my car, putting hand cream on every time I wash my hands. I forgot all about that. So that's true. And of course, these drunky colds, you know, you could hear that earlier in my voice. So it's just weird. Now, Julie, what do you think about fall?
Well, I absolutely love fall because I really love all the seasons. So I can't imagine living perpetually in one season. So I love the change, but I think fall is probably my favorite. But then I started to think maybe here in Tennessee, especially, do we just have this idealized, romanticized postcard version of fall that we all long for? Because in reality, in Tennessee, you get a few cool days, and then it could be back up in the 90s, and then it could be winter the next day. Fall could be very short. And even the foliage, the beautiful colors, is hit or miss. Like one year it could be gorgeous, and then the next year everything just turns brown and falls off the trees.
Right.
So I do think that we're longing for this picturesque New England fall that we don't always get. And I think, and every year I said, I fall for it. You know what? I fall for fall.
You're suckered into.
Yeah. And I guess Mindy's saying, I'm not fooled by a little pumpkin spice. I know winter's coming.
It's true. It's true. And Julie, your husband posted this little thing on Facebook this week, which is so true. He said that Tennessee actually has 12 seasons, and I won't go into all of them, but like the sections of fall here we go from summer to Hell's Front Porch, which is what we're in right now.
Today is Hell's Front Porch.
Yes. I think this is the last day in the forecast for Hell's Front Porch. Going to be 96 people. You can't even go outside without it taking your breath away. Like it is, if you bought a mum, you were fooled by fall because your mom is now dead. Because your mom cannot handle 96 degrees.
No amount of water can keep that alive.
No. Okay, after this little portion is done, we're going to go into false fall. So we're going to think it's fall. We're going to start to get out our sweaters and we're going to get excited and people will burn their candles. And then we're going to go into second summer. We will be hauling out our shorts again. Then, like you said, Julie, we'll get actual fall for about a week and then it'll be winter.
Then we'll have snow.
Julie and I fall for it every year.
Yes, I fall for it every year.
So I don't know, listeners. We're hopeless, obviously. But we do have some things to fall in love with fall about today. We do have some ideas for you guys. For the skeptic, we think you're going to at least be in like with fall by the end of our episode. We hope.
Yes. We're going to move Mindy along a little bit on the scale.
Yes.
We're going to
I'm ready for it.
Yes. Okay. Well, actually at the time of this recording, tomorrow is officially the first day of fall. So at least it's not going to be 95 tomorrow.
Right.
It's going to be like 78 tomorrow.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh my goodness. And that's why you get sick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the first thing we want to do when the temperatures drop is we want to cozy up our space. And the questions that we're going to talk about today, you can't say the most obvious answer. So everybody, what is the most obvious answer when it says cozy up your space? What do we immediately want to say?
Oh, bring out your warm blankets and your textured pillows.
Yes, we immediately wanted to say, buy a new throw, get a new pillow. And those are good ideas, but we want to offer some different things to cozy up your space. Because what if you've already bought all the throws that you could stand to buy in your lifetime? You buy one every year.
Right. I like your analogy to the old Family Feud game because I loved that show.
Okay.
So top 100 answers are on the board. We've given you the top, but now we're going to talk about those ones that fall way down towards the bottom.
Yeah. All right. So come on, Julie, help our team out. What's a way that we can cozy up our space that's not blankets and throws?
Okay. This one might be down at the bottom of the list, but for me, it is the top answer in my home. Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, tell us.
Warmth through lighting.
Oh, I love that.
I had John put all of our light switches on dimmers. And I rarely turn on the overhead light. Like, I personally think they should just go away and be avoided at all costs, unless you've lost something on the floor and you need the light on to find it.
Right. Okay.
Have warm light bulbs versus cool. And I've started noticing like the temperature of the bulb, that tells you how warm or how cool it is. And warm white is like 3,000 Kelvin and cool light is 5,000. So the higher the number, the cooler and bluer the light is. And, you know, those really high numbers kind of feel like you're in a prison interrogation room or a doctor's office.
Right.
So, and candlelight is like 1850. So that's why that is so warm and cozy. So the lower end just feels better. And what's really cool is with smart bulbs now, if you put a smart bulb in a lamp, you could it allows you to change that color. So like if you wanted to read by it, you could bump it up to the more blue, white light.
Great.
But when you wanted it to look cozy, you could, you know, put it on the warm light. They've really come a long way with the whole smart LED lighting.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I just think having a lot of task lighting, floor lamps, table lamps, candles, turn that overhead light off and it just cozies up. I mean, any room, like it could be an apartment building where you can't paint and do a lot of decorating. That one thing will cozy up your house more than anything else.
I love that.
And I would add to that, if you haven't yet, get some timers, especially in the fall, you know, when it starts getting dark around 5, you know, 4:35. It's so nice if a timer just turns the lights on. Like if you're coming home from work and your lights were already on, how cozy. Or even if you're just around the house and it's starting to get dark and all of a sudden the lights come on, it's like, oh, you don't feel, I don't think, the darkness outside as much if you have cozy lighting.
True.
And Mindy and I love those timers.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm all about the lamps too. I love that.
Yeah.
So my list is very short and to the point.
Okay.
I love going through kind of our library and setting some books around. Since it is getting darker, I even put some poetry books out. Like it's kind of neat if you're just sitting there. Like I don't get magazines like I used to, but I have a couple of poetry books. And even the Shel Silverstein books, like it's just so fun to read a passage of poetry. It's one of those things you can pick up and put down.
Sure.
But so a coffee table book or poetry or whatever. And then the biggest answer for me and my family, actually, though, for fall is football gets turned on the TV.
Okay. And that cozies up your house because it's like a gathering.
Yes. Everything is football. I do not get to watch anything other than football on the weekends, but I actually love it. The sound of it, the joy of it, the competition of it. Like it's just so fun. So for me, that's one of the fun things about fall is football.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah. All right. You guys know that I like Real Simple magazine. So, of course, I found an article that they put out 10 ways to cozy up your space. Skipping over the snuggly throws and pillows, Julie, they had the cozy lighting. They said consider soft lighting. Another interesting thing is they said maybe change out your rugs. Now, have you guys done this? Maybe even just throw rugs. Like maybe you have like a sisal or flat weave rug, but then in the winter you might put a more plush or cozy type rug. Have you ever done that? I haven't, but Julie, I feel like you probably have.
I haven't because our rugs are kind of big and they're just there. Okay. But I did like, I would love a sisal rug, but they did say you could just put the other rug on top of it. Like even if it's smaller, people layer rugs now.
That's true.
That's a great idea. Yeah, so you could layer a softer rug. I also liked their idea, warm up your window treatments. Like this would be great. Like if you have like lighter material, maybe linen or something on your windows for summer and spring, but if you brought in like velvet or a heavier material for winter, I feel like that would just really cozy up your space.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I am loving, I was in a furniture store the other day and they had this velvet, like jewel colored green couch. And it just looks like you want to sink into that fabric for fall, and one of the suggestions in this article was to get a slipcover for your couch, and choose a deep jewel tone and a softer fabric than like your crisp white Pottery Barn cotton or something, that you have other times of year. I thought that was a great idea. This was probably one of my favorites. I probably don't know if I ever would do it, but I can definitely see the need. It says, layer your kitchen linens. Start from the bottom up. A little kitchen rug on the floor in front of the sink. That could really cozy up just for the winter. A runner or tablecloth on the breakfast table, and linen slip covers over your wooden or metal cafe chairs. And that's one of the problems. I do have some metal chairs. I hate to sit in them in the winter because they're cold. But you could put a little seat or some kind of cover on them to help. And then their last thing was to put your memories on display. And I think Gretchen Rubin's talked about this. She'll put like holiday pictures from years past of her family out. Do you guys ever switch out your photographs or art?
It made me think of hanging up Christmas cards. I like the feeling of that, seeing all those people, and we do leave those up. And we do birthday month photographs, or at least we did.
That's cool.
It's like the month of February, all of Molly's little like lifetime pictures from childhood up were hanging on this doorway.
Oh, that's cool.
And then in December it's John's, and then so that's kind of a cool way to have pictures around. If they're not in the fall, I don't know. but that's just a different way to do it.
Sometimes people even have had like family pictures taken in the fall. And sometimes like if I have family pictures taken, I don't like to get them in the same season every year because then you always have the same background. But like if you had some, you could pull those back out and display them even if they were 10 years old, and they would go with the season. So it'd be a nice way to bring back a memory. So anyways, those are some ways, listeners, that you can cozy up your space and you don't need to go out and buy a blanket or a throw.
One other way I thought is because Mindy, you said you didn't really like flannel sheets because it was a little too warm there.
Oh, it's too hot.
But you could change out from, if you had crisp white sheets, you could change out to a pattern that's not flannel.
That's nice.
Oh, true. Plaid. I love plaids.
Plaids or warm colors or lead, something like that that's just still cotton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I love that list from Real Simple, and I totally feel like I'm going to need a fall budget now for my house.
I know. You thought you didn't want to do anything to cozy up, but now you're thinking, new curtains. That could be fun.
That's a great idea. Now, Bryce said he loves fall. It's like his favorite season. And when I ask for this fall budget, he's not going to like it anymore.
I was going to say, but Bryce, I'm doing it for you. All right. Well, let's talk about your favorite fall food. And you can't say chili, because I think that is everybody's favorite fall food. So, Julie, if you can't say chili, what are you going to say?
Well, I would say, like summer, we love salads and lighter foods, so we don't have to turn the oven on. But in the fall, you want something a little heartier. And I just love roasted vegetables, but I think I like them more in the fall. So especially things like sweet potato squash, Brussels sprouts, things like that. And I have a good recipe that I can share with you.
Yes.
You just roast the Brussels sprouts with a little olive oil and salt, and then the butternut squash, which you can buy already chopped up at Trader Joe's.
That's an awesome
and probably
trick.
Most groceries. And you put you put the olive oil and salt, a little cinnamon, and then you toss it with some maple syrup. And then you can put cranberries and toasted pecans. And it's a really pretty dish.
Wow.
And it's even a good side dish at Thanksgiving.
Sounds
Healthy.
like dessert.
Are you toasting the Brussels sprouts and the squash together, or were those two different ways?
Well, they had them on separate pans because they for some reason, didn't put the maple syrup in the Brussels sprouts, but I've done it all together.
I feel like the Brussels sprouts would taste good with maple syrup on them.
Yeah. And if you've never tried a roasted Brussels sprout, don't be afraid of it, because I wouldn't eat one boiled.
No.
But roasted, they're just
they are good.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, this weekend we visited my daughter in Texas, and do you remember those hot ham sandwiches that everybody brought to parties like in the 90s?
They're like on a sheet kind of.
Yeah. Well, she made those. She just made them in Pyrex dishes, but she had some nice rolls, cut them in half and layered them with ham and cheese and that buttery sauce and mustard. And she said that they like them so much they've added them to their weeknight meals,
Oh.
every week.
Uh-huh.
And then they make great leftovers for lunch.
Oh.
So I thought that's such a good idea. I mean, those are so common. You can find that recipe anywhere, but it really is a filling thing, and it's warm. And Mindy, you said you like to cook hot ham and cheese. So
Right.
My boys would be all over
And
that.
I feel like that's like football food, Mindy. Like
It is.
while they're
Yeah,
watching the game, they want to eat that.
yeah, it's
Little
finger
sliders.
food. It's easy. Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
And then I found one last thing. I actually haven't tried it yet, but Mindy, I was thinking about this when we were talking about drink stations.
Okay.
Yes.
These were apple cider floats.
Ooh,
And I
that
thought,
sounds good.
if you live somewhere that it's warm and you don't want to be drinking hot drinks, but this way you could still get like the flavors of fall. So they used that sparkling apple cider and some real apple cider and vanilla ice cream. And then to kind of make it festive, they topped it with an apple, caramel sauce, cinnamon. They look like one of those milkshake bar kind of things.
Oh,
they
my
served it in
goodness.
what do you call it? A mason jar. It looked so
That
good.
sounds really good.
I want to try that.
Yeah, invite me over
Listen.
when you try it, Julie.
Yeah.
Because Chick-fil-A just debuted a new milkshake and it's autumn flavored and
Is
it's not
it?
pumpkin spice.
Ooh.
Yes.
I wonder what
And I
flavor it
haven't tried
is.
it yet. I had it on my phone. If I can find it before the end of the episode, I'll
Okay.
tell our listeners. But yeah,
Interesting.
Chick-fil-A has an autumn shake and it's a new thing. And
It might be apple, like apple pie or something.
I don't know. There's some like fallish flavors in it, but it's not pumpkin.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Oh, well, I can't wait
Yeah,
to
so
try that
there,
then.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite food if you can't say chili, Mindy?
Any type of warm bread.
Oh,
Smelling it, cooking, I'll say bread, pastry, whatever, fill in the blank, because there is something so comforting about cooking or baking a
warm
bread
carbs
product.
is what you want.
Yes, warm carbs. And I know I just mentioned Chick-fil-A, but I am a sucker for their mac and cheese right now.
Oh, okay.
It is so good.
I haven't tried
And
it.
and I don't even like mac and cheese. I don't know how
Okay.
this happened, but I happened
Yeah.
to try Nathan's that he wasn't finishing. And now I'm completely like every day I want it. So I
Now
have
when
to
the boys
resist.
come home, you're like, grab me some macaroni and cheese.
Get some mac and cheese.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to give that a try along with the fall flavored milkshake.
Mhm.
That sounds really good. Well, I'm like you, Mindy. Like when I move into fall, and really you said too, Julie, like in the summer, you want lighter desserts, lighter meals, but in the fall, I want warm, filling. And I was thinking back to why don't I make some of the desserts that I've made in the past? I don't know. I forget about them. And I had forgotten about this apple pie recipe. And of course, I couldn't find it in my cookbook. So I Googled one that was very similar. But I don't really like to make a pie crust. And I know you can buy them, but I really like this crustless apple pie where you're basically cutting up the apples, layering it in the bottom of the dish, putting some ingredients on it. Then you're mixing a batter, pouring it over, and it kind of makes its own crust. So it's kind of like a cross between like apple crisp and, a pie.
Almost a cobbler.
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
a cobbler. And I really like that. You can serve it then with like whipped cream or ice cream. I'll put that recipe in our show notes. And then also, I know you love these, Julie, but do you ever make them yourselves, ginger snaps?
I've never made them, but
Yeah,
I've bought.
I
Quite a
have
few.
actually I have a good recipe that I've made in the past for ginger snaps that I cut out of a magazine once. It's called Mom's Ginger Snaps. But it didn't have too many ingredients. I actually had all the ingredients in my cupboard, so you know that it's pretty common ingredients.
Success.
Probably the only one that you might not have on hand is molasses, but that's pretty easy to get. But it made 4 to 5 dozen cookies, which is a lot out of one batch. Like usually I double every cookie recipe I make. You wouldn't want to double this one and have 10 dozen ginger snaps.
Do they snap?
I think maybe if you let them sit a couple days. I think probably that is the problem with homemade ginger snaps. Like I like them for the
crunch,
the smell, and I actually like them a little softer, but I could see now that you mentioned that if you really like the snap, maybe the store-bought is what you need. But I love the smell.
Yet my mom always says some foods are better stale. And that's one of those things, like you kind of want it to get a little bit stale.
That's true. So maybe if you're having company, make them a day or two ahead of time.
Yeah, that sounds good. I need to get that recipe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what is your favorite activity to do in the fall? And I was trying to think of what do people say is the most common. I was thinking probably like go to the pumpkin patch or go apple picking. It seems like I saw both of those in every article. But what's your favorite activity that's not those two popular ones?
Well, Mindy, I tried to think of you. I thought, on the day that daylight savings time ends, you get to sleep an extra hour. So yay.
Oh, that's
But do I, Julie?
I know, that's the thing. Why do they always make it on a Sunday?
You're teasing me.
You get to sleep an extra hour. You get to snuggle with your cat if you have one. You get to eat outside more, either at a restaurant or at your house. You get to start to enjoy hot drinks. If not, you can make apple cider floats. You can actually go outside and exercise and not fear having a heat stroke or needing 3 showers a day. Like Marina and I walked the other night, and I said, I'm not sweating.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was our pre-Hell's Front Porch weather.
Oh.
This was our first fall.
Yeah.
You don't have the smell of cut grass, which I love in the spring and summer, but I like taking a rest from all that yard work. So I'm trying to find all the positives here. But one thing that I thought about that we did, I probably did this 15 years ago with friends, and I thought this needs to be resurrected. We took a shopping trip. Like a group of girls went to a small town. Like here, we could go to Columbia, Franklin, Bell Buckle, and go thrifting or antiquing, and then have lunch or coffee at some special restaurant.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
That's a fun outing. Like be intentional and just kind of like being a tourist in your own area. Go someplace that's new that you haven't been before. Because it's fun to be outside walking in these little towns when it's, not 100 degrees.
Right. No, that's a great idea. Yeah. All right, Mindy, what did you think besides pumpkin patch and apple picking? Or were those your two that you picked?
I will never pick a pumpkin patch.
Oh,
ever,
no. Okay.
Ever. Okay. But again, I'm working on being a little, more positive. So I'm not adding that to my negative list, but that is never going to be on my list.
It will be when you have a grandchild. I guarantee we will see pictures of you at the pumpkin patch.
Oh, all over it. But with our family, did I mention football?
Yes.
Because when one of my sons is playing football, I mean, that is what we're doing on the weekend is we're going to that game. And right now Grant is on a team in Kansas. So that really is a commitment. We won't make every game, but we're at least streaming it online if we're not there. But our number one activity is hiking.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's just so enjoyable. Honestly, you could hike all year long, but just hiking, walking. And I am one of those that doesn't mind taking 3 showers a day in the 100-degree heat. I love it.
Do you, Mindy?
I do. I am so there for it. I call it hot walking.
Okay.
Like hot yoga.
Yeah.
Burns the toxins out of you. But I was trying to think of this in a positive way. And in the fall, I don't typically walk in the mid-afternoon in summer. I still walk in the mornings when it's a bit cooler.
Sure.
But in the fall, you really can walk pretty much, for me, I walk with the light. So anytime it's light, you really can get outdoors. So I just feel like the outdoors are more open during daylight hours.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, hiking in the fall, it really is the best time of year. Okay, my favorite activity. I saw this on a list and I need to make myself do it more. In my mind, I picture that I do it, but I love this. Go to the library and get some romance novels. Oh. That would be my favorite activity in the fall. Like, I like that it gets darker and you have more time to read, and I really want to read some romance novels. And this article obviously is saying that this is an approved of fall activity, so I'm going to do it.
Oh. Don't you do that over the summer too, Marie?
I do, but like it's actually on a fall list, so I need to even do it more.
Got it.
Oh, so funny.
There is definitely a lot more time to read because
Yes.
you don't feel obligated. Well, you can't be outside once it gets dark at 4:30, you're inside.
Oh my gosh.
And Mindy, I know what you like to do in the fall. Well, maybe not
What?
quite fall, but coming up, you turn on the Hallmark Channel.
How did you know?
Because you've said before how much you love the Hallmark Channel, and this is the time the Hallmark Channel was made for, was fall and winter.
It's so true. Oh my gosh, I just watched my first Hallmark movie last night.
You did, Mindy?
I did. Like, you totally just called me out on that.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand them over the...
It goes along with the romance novels.
It does.
It's basically a romance novel that you're watching.
And they're always in picturesque New England towns with beautiful leaves. And
it's true. I sit there and make fun of all the extra fall leaves that Hallmark adds to the scenery. So I sit there and make fun of them and enjoy it all at the same time.
Yeah.
See, you secretly love fall.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's talk about our favorite fall smell. And you cannot say pumpkin spice. I don't even really like the smell of pumpkin spice, but I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So what would be your favorite smell, Julie?
Well, you can probably guess this, but it would be fire, burning in the fire pit.
Okay,
or the fireplace.
Yes. Smoke is her favorite.
Smoke is my favorite. Yes, burning leaves even. I looked at the forecast when we were in the car this weekend. And it's 96 today, 96 yesterday, I think. But then tomorrow it's in the 70s and lows in the 50s. One night it even got to 49. So I just said, John, I'm just giving you a heads up. There will be fire.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if it'll be inside, but at least in the fire pit outside. I just can't wait. That's my favorite smell ever. So
right. Oh, well, that so fits you for sure. Okay, Mindy, what's your favorite fall smell?
I have two. I do love cinnamon apple.
Okay,
that combination is really, really awesome, but I do struggle with all the candles that people pull out because they just give me, like, my allergies really struggle with that. But I do love cinnamon apple. And then any kind of nutty coffee flavor. So like hazelnut or I've seen maple nut. I've seen like different kind of nut flavors. But any type of brewed coffee with those nutty flavors. Oh, so good.
Yeah. And I saw that on some lists of like things to do in the fall was like change out your coffee, for a more fall type flavor.
Right.
So yeah, that is a good idea. And I think probably half of that is so that you can have the fall smell.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite smell, I would probably say cloves. And it's not even like I'm smelling them all the time, but if I ever smell a clove, I just immediately think of fall. So I don't know. I'd say that was my favorite fall smell. Do I do much about it? No, I don't have a clove candle. I don't buy one of those clove sticks. But if I happen to be somewhere where I do smell it, I do enjoy it.
Oh.
I think one time one of you guys said that you can buy like a clove something at the grocery store, like in the produce or something, and then it like smells up
broom?
Everything.
Oh,
yes, it is.
Cinnamon.
Broom.
That's cinnamon? Oh, okay. I was thinking it was
but
clove.
I think it kind of has like
it probably has all
those.
Clove.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that this year. And what is it? Does it look like a broom?
It does.
Yeah. And I just did what Mindy said. I stuck it on top of the cabinet.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't show.
Yes, where you can't see it, but you can smell it. So either like a cabinet or top of the refrigerator.
Oh. And is it like right by the apples or where do they have them?
It's
I think so. Or maybe floral.
Oh, floral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere kind of.
Yeah. So I still, that idea stuck in my head. I need to just go ahead and do that. I wonder if you can order one on Instacart. I would like a broom, a clove broom, please.
So you don't have to go in the store.
I guarantee I'll get a message. I cannot find this item. Is there a substitute you want?
Yeah.
Especially if you have a young shopper. They're
Right.
like, what are you talking about?
Okay. Well, let's talk about favorite fall outfit. And Mindy, I'm going to have you go first on this because I just feel like well, of course you said you hate fall clothes, but do you have any favorite fall outfits?
I do. Since I have to put clothes on, I mean, like regular clothes.
Right.
Regular clothes. And Georgia is similar to Tennessee with like colder mornings, warmer afternoons. You never really know what the weather's going to be like. So I actually truly love to pull out my Madewell overalls.
Oh,
because
cute.
I can wear like a tank top or a short sleeve shirt or a 3/4 sleeve shirt.
Yes.
And I'll still just wear my Birkenstocks with no socks because I'm going to do that until it's like 40
December
outside.
24th.
Yes. And then I'm going to have Christmas socks with my Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
But I do love wearing overalls this time of year.
Oh, that's cute. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
They're very popular right now. I've seen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so glad because I'm wearing them anyway.
Yes. All right. What's your favorite, Julie?
All right, Mindy, this is the best part of fall because if we're eating mac and cheese,
Yes,
and pumpkin spice or fall milkshakes,
yes,
and Halloween candy and all of that, I'm not saying let yourself go, but it's a time to relax. You can just put on
get
a baggy
teeny
sweater.
bit fluffy.
You can get a little fluffier, and it doesn't matter. You can hide it. And, in the winter, I never think, gosh, my legs are so white. I just don't ever think that. Or like, oh, my toenails need painting. Nope, don't ever think that because they're on boots. There's just a lot less maintenance in the winter, and you're just more covered up. You don't have to think about wearing a swimsuit for 6 to 8 months.
I love that.
My goodness.
Swimsuit season is over. So you get to wear comfy sweaters. You get to add scarves, which is fun. You get to wear cute hats. You get to wear jackets. I love jackets. So yeah, it's a lot less maintenance. I always feel more comfortable in winter clothes than summer.
Yes.
I don't know.
And I'm always cold. So like even in a restaurant or anything, like I just feel better with long sleeves on. Like even I wore we were in Texas this weekend. I wore a sweatshirt the whole weekend just because the air conditioning was cold.
Yeah. When I think about my favorite fall outfit, it's nothing to aspire to, but my family knows what it is because I come home from church and just immediately put it on. Leggings, a long sweatshirt, like socks, slippers. I want to put a blanket over myself on the couch, eat my lunch, and read a book.
Yeah, we call that the uniform here at our house.
That is my favorite fall outfit. But, I did want to give maybe something that other people could aspire to. So I did buy 2 new fall things last week when I was in Target because they had some things like right near the front. And so, of course, I wandered over there after I made a return. But I don't know what you call these. I would call them maybe like varsity sweaters or football cardigans. They kind of have like the white stripe down, the sides. Let me get it to show you. Like when I typed in football cardigan, because that was the only word I could think of, Forever 21 called it a varsity cardigan.
Yeah, like a Letterman sweater.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That is so cute. That's like the preppy college.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cardigan.
And so it may be too young for me, but
no, it's not.
But I just loved it. And so I bought it. And then right next to those, they had really super cute flannels. And so I thought, I have not bought a flannel in a really long time and I want a flannel. So now I have a varsity cardigan and a flannel to put on. And I can't wait to layer them because the whole point of them is I can wear multiple things at once.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And Mindy, I wanted to tell you, I was in Walmart this weekend with my daughter and they had fall clothes out. So I had to just kind of swing by there.
Yes.
And I got that leopard print sweatshirt.
No, you
remember
did?
last year? Yeah, they had. Remember, Mindy talked about it. I went over there and I saw a lady pick up the last one. So they had it again. I guess it's the same one. It's a little longer in the back.
Yes.
Has the split on the side.
Yes.
Yeah, I got one.
You finally got one. That is impressive. I can't believe they brought it back. I love it. I still wear it.
So that's going to be your uniform now, Julie.
That'll be
for
my
the winter.
uniform. Yeah.
It is so soft. They wash so well. Still, I mean,
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, yes, we will put some links. I'll put a link to my new sweater. And I don't know, are there any links that you guys wanted to share? Mindy, maybe you can find something about your overalls.
Oh,
I'll
see
share
if
those
they
two
say-
recipes.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some links coming for you guys. Let's see. Our last question that we wanted to talk about before we move into I'm a Fan was, what is your favorite effect of fall on your life? And I just love this question, Julie. You told us to think about it, your favorite effect of fall. And I think this is why I love fall, because despite all the, dry skin and all that, I love the effect that fall has on my life. That's what I really love. I am coming off of my least favorite season, which is summer. And the reason I don't like summer is because it's just a free-for-all. It's a chaotic, nonstop, never go to bed, never know what's going to happen season. And when you enter fall, you are re-entering routine and standard things you're going to be doing every week, and things that you like start meeting again. And it's a fun time. And you have the holidays to look forward to, but you're not having to do the work of them yet. I love this time of year. So that's the effect that fall has on me. It's like a rebalance. It's a get back into routine. And that's why I think I love it, despite any negative things that really do come along with it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. For me, it's a season of anticipation and excitement. And I guess that stems from all those years of going back to school for myself, and even having all my kids go back to school. Like, you're learning new things, you're meeting new people, you're going new places. And so that has kind of carried over. Like, even though I'm an empty nester, Marie, you pretty much are. We don't have kids going back to school necessarily, but you still kind of feel the effects of the rest of the world going back to school. Like you said, programs start up, Bible studies at church start up. Like, you're still on the school schedule, whether you're in school or not. And it just feels nice to have a more steady routine. And I love summer. I love the free for all and the loose schedule, but that's what I love so much about the change of the seasons. Like, I wouldn't want to live perpetually in one. Even the dead of winter prepares me to be excited about spring, if that makes sense. I just like the change. It helps me appreciate each one.
Yes.
What's the effect of fall in your life, Mindy?
I'm going to work on this. Okay. I did tell you guys, I truly love back to school season so much. It's probably one of my favorite times of year. So it's funny, that I would say that I kind of dread fall a little bit, but see, we've already been back to school, kind of like you guys. We go back the beginning of August,
right?
And now fall is not really happening till the end of September. So I feel like there's 2 months where I whip myself back into that routine so happily. But I do feel that fall is a learning season. And you guys know this. I don't very happily jump into learning something new. I kind of have to be drugged to it, but then I'm happy I did it. So I am thankful for the learning that happens during that season. And I'm teaching a Bible study right now. I love that Bible studies are back. In session. I love the learning that I'm even going to do as I prepare for having more people in my home. And so those things do bring a lot of joy, but it kind of forces me to look at inward. And I just don't naturally jump to that. And so it also forces me to see that my house is a wreck, and I probably need to spend a little more time not being outside sweating and enjoying, life. Maybe I should work on those ceiling fans. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like fall has a positive effect on you, but
Yes.
maybe not as positive effect as other seasons.
Because I do love winter. Like, when we get there, I do really give myself into that. So I think it's just the change, maybe even.
Well, I like what you said at the beginning. It's just like the getting ready for bed. You know how sometimes it's like we want to go to bed, but we don't want to get ready for bed. And so we sit down on the couch and stay up way too late because we don't want to haul ourselves upstairs and get ready for bed. And maybe that's what it feels like for you.
It does.
Yeah, I read somebody describing the seasons that did not like fall, and they said they weren't an in-betweener. They loved the extremes. They loved summer, they loved winter, but they didn't like the in-betweens. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's the whole change is what you don't like as much.
Yeah, I think that's signaling. It signals a change. And I mean, even these past couple mornings, it's been darker. And I feel like I'm grieving a little bit. Like inwardly, I'm like, what is up? I'm in a funk. Like what? And I'm genuinely sad about the sun coming up later and going down earlier. I am genuinely sad about that.
Yeah. Well, listeners, maybe you can relate with Mindy. And I know that there are people out there, because we were kind of joking before the episode that it's countercultural to say you don't enjoy fall. Like, Julie, you said you were reading someone that's afraid to even post about that.
Yeah, he said he posted about, just really not liking fall, not understanding it. And he had to cut off the comments because people were so harsh with him. That it's definitely an unpopular opinion. Ooh.
So listeners, at least there's been some really positive things in this episode. So we know, all right.
Yeah.
It's not all bad.
And listeners, we want to hear from you. Message us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast or email us at midlifematterspodcast@gmail.com. But let us know how you feel about fall, how you really, really feel. Yeah. Because we want to know what are the opinions out there?
Unpopular or not.
Yes, definitely. All right, well, let's move into I'm a Fan. Okay, Mindy, what are you a fan of this week?
I'm a fan of a facial moisturizer that I use both morning and evening time frames. I used to have two different ones, but again, I'm pulling from our Lulu Loves 7 Instagram friend, Cindy. And she recommended this, and I was like, okay, she has midlife skin. I'm going to give it a shot. It is by Tula, Tula. It's a moisturizer, and it's called 24/7.
Oh.
And so I have been very happy with it. I've been using it for about a month, and it doesn't make me break out. It's like light enough, but heavy enough. It's hard to describe, but I mean, it's just been my one-stop shop, and I'm so practical that I love having one thing for morning, night. Now, as the seasons change, I'm going to be watching it. Like, do I need something heavier? I'm not sure, but so far, so good.
Okay. That's good advice. All right. Julie, what are you a fan of?
Well, I am a fan of the Ring doorbell. And I know, this is not a new thing. I'm always last to the game with technology. But I'm just here to say, if you don't have one yet, it's really cool. And really the whole Ring system, like we had some lights installed that are motion sensors. That have motion sensors, and then a camera, and it's a 160-degree view, and it's in color.
Wow.
And I can see my back porch, I can see my driveway, and now I can see out my front door. And we were out of town. We were in Texas this weekend, and I heard my little notification on my phone, and I saw my electrician drive up in the driveway. I saw my neighbor come over and get my package, and you can see it live, or you can go back like, I wonder if that got delivered. Well, I can go back through the day and see, yeah, there it is. And it's really nice. So it's not just about seeing who's at your door. You can see a whole lot going on.
Sure.
Wow.
And super easy to install, and you could even create your own kind of self-made home security system with all the things that can kind of interact. And it's all on an app on your phone.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't have a Ring doorbell, but my brother has one, and you have one, and I really think I would like to get one. And you said it's easy to install, so.
Yeah, and it's you can even talk to the people at the door, from Texas. I could say, hey, what do you need?
I'm watching you.
Yeah, I see you.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So if you're not on that wagon yet, go ahead and get on it because
yeah,
it's super easy and it's not that expensive and it really does provide a lot of security.
Right. Right. And if you are not on it, you'll probably still beat me. So.
And I'm not there yet either.
Oh, you're not, Mindy? Okay.
No.
Wow, I can't believe I was the first.
I know. You are just right. You're doing it.
Very impressive.
Okay, well, this week I'm a fan of I'm a fan. So I have to share 2 things, Mindy, that you have recommended that I have finally tried. All right, so you guys and even some listeners asked me if I had tried the Revlon Color Stay Bare Maximum lip gloss. And would you call that a lipstick or a lip gloss? I thought it was more of a gloss.
No, I don't even use the gloss part. I didn't even say that before. I only use the lipstick part.
Okay. And that's all I used too. Okay. And I really did like it. And I forgot to put it on today, but you really can't even hardly tell that you have it on.
Right.
But it's just very, very natural. So listeners, if you did not hear about Mindy's recommendation, it is the Revlon Color Stay Overtime Lip Color. And she specifically recommended the Bare Maximum. And it's really great. I got it for like $8 something at Target. And it was totally worth it. I liked it. So thank you for that, Mindy.
Good.
And then you also recommended this Redken Acidic Bonding Concentrate. It's like a leave-in conditioner. And I ordered that and it came the next day off Amazon and I've used it twice since then. And I like it a lot. And so I do also want to highlight and recommend that for listeners that you can get this leave-in conditioner. And maybe you just want to recap real quickly why you got that, Mindy.
My hairdresser recommended it. As my hair gets longer, it just gets more tangly, harder to manage. And of course, going into fall, winter, it just gets drier. And so I want to protect it more so it can be longer. But it smells delightful.
It does smell good.
It doesn't weigh your hair down. And it does everything for you. Like it is a detangler. Like I can comb through my hair with my wet brush easily. But it doesn't weigh it down. And it's not crunchy. It's not greasy. It is so good. It's a heat protectant. So it's doing a lot.
So highly recommend both of those products. I'll put a link to them again in our show notes. If you haven't tried them, now's the second time you've heard about them. You know how sometimes people have to hear about things like multiple times before they're willing to try them? Yes. Here's your multiple time. So anyways, I'm a fan.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, Julie and Mindy, I love talking with you. And Mindy, I hope that you will soon be able to say, I'm a fan of fall.
I need to embrace it. You girls are super
it's coming
helpful.
No matter what.
It is.
Okay, we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Okay,
bye,
girls. We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.